Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models. Now let's put this back on material and let's think about actually creating this part going in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my wall here, press Shift S, cursor to center, Shift A, and let's bring in a cylinder. Let's keep the cylinder, let's put it on 20, I think that should be enough. Let's then spin it round, so R, X, 90, and then what I'm going to do is I want to put my cylinder into here, so something like there. I want to probably stretch it out or bring it out a little bit. I'm going to put it round here, something like this. And then what I'm going to do is pretty much the same technique as what we've been using before, which is to get rid of the front and back, and also to get rid of it going all the way around here, all the way up to probably this point here. Press delete and faces, and you should end up with just this little part here. Now let's press L, let's press S and Y and squish it in a little bit. Let's get it actually into place because this is going to be another piece of wood. So S, Y, let's bring it in, pull it out. You can see it's way too thick at the moment, S and Y. We want it in to be something like that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically solidify this. So Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, actually I'll set the geometry to the 3D cursor because I'm actually going to mirror that as well. Add modifier, and then we're going to go to generate, and we're going to have a solidify. I'm going to pull it back this time, so the other way, like so. And we can see here that we do have a problem in that it's going to cross over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mirror on now, because then I'll be able to see exactly where the issue is going to lie. So you can see here that now I can actually come in, grab all of this, so A to grab it all, and I can actually move it over now and actually bend it now. So R and Y, let's bend it a little bit to where we actually want it. We might actually want to, let's have a look. I want to actually have more bend probably to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this point and I'm going to put on X-ray so I can see this point here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend them a little bit more, like so. I'm not going to worry too much about those parts at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with these 2 points. So these two here, I'm going to bend them so they're near enough touching. And then finally, I'm going to bend this one like so, and just really get them exactly how I want them. Now we can see that these 2 parts are actually touching. I don't really want that, so I'm just going to grab the whole thing and pull it out very slightly like so. Now the last thing is I'm probably going to want this to be supporting. Yeah, do I want it supporting this brick wall? Let's have a look what it would look like if I do have it supporting the brick wall. So if it was coming, you know, to something like that, let's lift this up a little bit. So if it was coming just under my brick wall, like so, I'm going to press Control R, bring in another edge loop, left click, right click, and then actually I've got a little bit more control over there. And then what I think I'll do is I think now I'll bring these out. So I'm just going to grab all 3 of these. Oops, this one in there. And then I'm just going to bring them out. And now we can see we're actually getting somewhere. Now this is looking much nicer. And now I can just grab both of these, like so, press 1. Let's pull them out. And there we go. I'm happy with how that looks now. Now the one problem we do have, as you can see, is that this part is sticking out. Can I actually fix that without actually altering it too much? So I'm just going to bring it back, bring it in, bring it back, and bring it in. And there we go. All right, looks easy, right? But it's actually a little bit of work to actually get that in place. Okay, so now let's add one more modifier. So add modifier, generate bevel. Let's turn the bevel down. The bevel, because we brought it in last, will be all the way down here. Turn it down to 0, turn it up to 1. And this actually, what we're doing here is called modifier stacking. And you can see now this is how it actually works because we're stacking modifiers on top of each other. We can also close these up and actually add in more modifiers, which makes it very easy to actually work with. So now what we'll do is we'll actually, I think we're ready to near enough apply that. One thing I'll do before that though is I will apply, let's have a look. I'll apply my solidify. So let's apply that. And what that means is now I can press Shift H and go into there. And what I can do is let's turn the X-ray off. I can actually come in now and actually mark some seams on here. So I'm just going to grab both of these. Control E because it's on face select, mark seam, and then come around the back, and then Alt Shift and click, right click, mark seam. And now I can actually grab it all, U, Smart UV project, click OK, I'm actually probably not actually going to use Smart UV Project. What I'm going to use is U Unwrap. Let's try what that looks like because I think it'll give us a better unwrap. Now let's come in, press Alt H, and let's join this to this material. So Control L, link materials, and there we go. I think that's actually looking pretty nice. Okay, so now let's come back to our wood and let's apply all these. I'm not going to just go in and apply both of them. I'll just come up to Object, Convert, Mesh, apply those. And then what I'm going to do now is I'll grab this one here, making sure I'm in Edge Select, A, G, move it over just to make sure it looks a little bit different. And there we go. That's that part of the roof done. Now, if we come over and we put on our shading, we can see that nearly the front is nearly done. And as we move around the side, we can see all that unevenness on there, all that work we actually did. And now we just need to finish this part off. And then we can actually bend this roof a little bit. So I think now on the other side, we'll actually just put one chunky piece of wood up here. So back to material, grab this wall, cursor selected, and then what I'll do, I'll actually come to my asset manager this time. I'm just going to go around, zoom in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to wooden blocks, and I'm probably looking at one that's either maybe 2.5 meters. So this one here, let's pull that one in, and let's put it into place like so. And let's put it, I'm thinking it's going to have to go all the way up there. Let's put this on material mode. You can see it's going to have to go up all the way up there to cover that. So I'm going to pull it up because we haven't got a roof, a part on here, which is the chimney. So I need some way to actually cover that. So if I pull this out a little bit, you can see now that we've got it in the center. Let's press S and X and pull this out just so it is a very, very chunky piece of wood like you see there. And I think that's actually going to do the job for us. So if I double tap the A, yeah, that's going to look pretty good. However, the one problem we do have is at the bottom here, one, it's not pulled out enough, and two, we don't want this bit hanging over. So what we want to do instead, let's put proportional editing on and let's pull it down and then let's pull it back like so while increasing this. So we've got a nice smooth transition there and that looks really cool. Now, what we need to do now is we just need to make sure that we can join it all together. So what we want to join together on this is we want to join it all the way from the bottom. So all of these points here, going all the way along to this part here, to this part, to this part, to the wood, to the actual wall, to all of these parts on here, and to the actual chimney. Now, once you've grabbed it all, press G, and then you'll see whether you've grabbed it all. And you can see that we do have a problem. And before we actually, move on, we should actually address that problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into my roof. I'm going to press A. And now what I want to do is I want to make sure that all these are joined together. We've not got all those gaps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Mesh, Clean Up, and then Merge by Distance. And we can see no vertices actually fixed at the moment. Turn this up 1,732 vertices fixed. That means now that all those tiles have been joined on the inside. If I come in and I grab one tile, for instance, I press G. Let's see, have a look. Let's see if I can actually grab them all. So I'm going to come in, Edge Select. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, let's go. Let me just have a look at that. Yeah, there we go. That's the problem. I need to go back actually before doing that. There we go. All right, so before doing that, the reason why they're like this is because we didn't join these parts here. So we can see now, if I press G, everything comes together and they're not joined up and they're still mirrored from the other side. And we don't actually want that. So what I want to do is I want to come to this one first. So this is the inner part. So you can see here, these inner parts, not the front and back. And I want to apply this mirror. So I want to apply this mirror like so. 7 to go over the top. And then what I want to do is I want to press Tab, double tap the A. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to press B, grab all of these. And then I'm going to come into my UV editing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these. So G, move them along. And now the fronts of these, so we can see now, if I open this, the fronts of these are going to look different from each other. So you can see now they're looking a little bit different from each other. Double tap the A. That is what we wanted. Now the next problem we've got is of course, is that these fronts and backs are not joined. So in other words, I need to join all of these up. So I need to grab, if I press Alt H, I need to grab these and these. Now if I press G, that's the whole roof. And now I'm going to press Ctrl J and join them all up together. Let's reset transformations. Like so. And now the one problem you're going to have is, if I come in now and try and grab these, you can see that they're not actually joined together. Let's join them all together now. So now we've done that, we can actually come into Mesh, Clean Up, Merge by Distance, and 43,852 vertices joined together. So now if I come in and grab this one, we can see that it's joined basically everything together, which is not a problem. I'm hoping, yeah, we might have some mess there. Let's actually have a look to see if I can actually fix that before joining them all up. I've actually do have some mess there, and I don't want to actually do that. So I'm thinking these here, look, as you can see, these are pretty much a mess, and I don't actually want them to be like that. We don't want all these bits going to the front and back. So I'm just going to have another look and see. Yeah, we can grab the front and back of them. What I'm going to do is, instead of that, I'm going to actually go back before joining them all up together. So like now, you can see we have got 2 pots now. And I'm going to actually re-unwrap those on the next lesson. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about that. I made a little bit of a snake there. But we'll fix that on the next lesson. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.